Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, and today I'm back with another career mode video. It hasn't been that long since the last one at Spa. That was last video. Today it is the build up to, and then of course the COTA USA qualifying second to last raced weekend of the season. Last time out at Spa it was certainly a chaotic race, plenty of action. If you haven't watched that, click off the video now before I give you the spoilers, because I'm going to head over there. You know the drill at this point if you haven't watched it. It was a really exciting race for us. We finished P10, another solid result there, you know. Since France, we've been going steadily with 9th, 8th, 11th, 10th. Been pretty happy with that. Our best results being P1 at France and then P5 at Imola, but we've been so solid this season. Only one points finish out, one finish out of the points. Every other time, we've taken something away from it. Of course, this weekend, a bit more difficult, especially we're going to be taking grid penalties. It's going to be harder here, but P10 last time out, a really good one. In terms of the championship, I'm going to brush over that because this is the pivotal thing. Perez winning from Perez, Bottas, and then Verstappen was pivotal for the championship. It brings P2 to P4, the gap down to 2 points. Verstappen with 109, Perez and Hamilton both have 107. It is all to play for there, and that is going to spice things up. That result for Perez has brought him right back into the battle for P2. However, Max Verstappen finishing behind Valtteri Bottas again means that Bottas extends his lead even further, 155 points to 109. It is going to be very interesting in terms of the championship fight heading into this weekend. Bottas can win it here at USA. I think he'll need about 8 points-ish, something like that, if he wants to be able to go and take it all this weekend. But, I mean, I definitely would like it if Verstappen could take it to the wire at Mexico, or Hamilton, or Perez, because it's those three now there. But really, Bottas at USA and Mexico needs to just get a solid result, avoid incidents, which is what he's done so well this season. His worst result was P5. That shows his consistency. 3 wins, 3 second places, a third place, and a fastest lap. He's been so consistent, and if he continues that, he could win it here in USA. He'll probably end up winning it by the end of Mexico. He's looking very comfortable. Verstappen, of course, dropping down with that P4 and their DNF before that. He's certainly not having the best of times. Hamilton catched up to that. So watch out for the title fight, basically. You know, the battle really is for second place, but it's going to be close between Verstappen, Hamilton, and Perez. That will shake all over the place at the last 3 races. I do think that Mercedes might be taking some grid penalties, though, I have to say. Let's not forget that they haven't taken any grid penalties at all yet. So, you don't know. You really don't know. And then, of course, in the Constructors, Mercedes versus Red Bull. Red Bull have closed the gap. A bad result for Mercedes. That could be closed. It would be difficult for Red Bull to do so. They still have a chance, but they'd need a miracle as it stands from Max Verstappen and Checo Perez, and a disaster for Mercedes. But as I said, Mercedes not taking grid penalties. They'll probably need to take some at COTA. Red Bull could close the gap down at USA, and then maybe be able to battle at their track at Mexico, in a sense where they really do go around there well. Leclerc, no man's land, comfortable for P5. Fantastic season for him. The next battle I want to show you guys is ourselves versus Ricciardo, Sainz, Norris, and Gasly. Ricciardo 1 point behind us. Sainz 6 points behind Ricciardo. Norris then sits on 37. Gasly 2 points behind him. That train is so close that even Pierre Gasly could overtake us by the end of the season. We are probably going to struggle to stay ahead of those guys. Still yet to have a DNF. We've been going pretty nicely and solidly this season, but Ricciardo, Sainz, Norris, and Gasly are catching up to us. That's our fight to try and stay there in the drivers. It's very close. That will shake around. So will it in the Constructors, of course. Ferrari looking comfortable over McLaren at the moment. However, ourselves, we're P5, 1 point ahead of AlphaTauri. That battle continues after Yuki Tsunoda took 1 more point than us last time, meaning that they closed the gap to 1. It's all to play for in terms of P5 versus AlphaTauri at the end of this season. Aston Martin pretty comfortable P7. That is pretty much everything. You know, Vettel could be caught up by Tsunoda. Stroll could catch up to Tsunoda. You don't know at the moment, but it's looking pretty concrete there. Of course, don't forget the Alpines. Haas, Williams, and Alfa Romeo still yet to score, along with my teammate, who got a fastest lap earlier in the season. That was, of course, at Spain, pitting after that incident. Another thing I want to show you guys, the driver market is coming towards that time of the season where we get to have a look at the driver market. In terms of focus, as I've been having a look, the Mercedes driver's very high. Verstappen, not as high. Ricciardo, not that high. Leclerc, 91 focus. That is pretty high. Then you've got Checo Perez, Gasly, not that high. Sainz, 85. 85, Giovinazzi struggling with 72. Stroll, still terrible focus, 55. Latifi struggling with 74. Schumacher, Tsunoda, Mazepin, my teammate, all pretty good at the moment. Expect some changes. We will be informed of any sort of drivers deciding to retire very soon. But as you can see, we might be looking at Leclerc and Norris, possibly there. Leclerc's focus really looking good. And although he's still 89, Norris 90, might actually go for him at the end of the season. He's going to cost 9 million. We're saving up for him. Next thing, of course, the internal combustion engine, 73%. We have a totally fresh one for the final 2 Grand Prix. So we'll be taking a penalty for that. Then, a totally fresh motor generator, MGUK. Same again for the MGUH. We're taking a fresh one for the final 2 races of the season. We should be fine with the energy store for the last 2. We're going to take a new turbocharger for the final few. We can even take that again if we needed to. I can't see it. We are, however, going to have to take a penalty for the CE at some point this season. I'd rather take it now than Mexico. We're going to take a 5-place grid penalty this weekend. It just makes sense really to do it now instead of Mexico so that we can be competitive at the end of the season. The event gearbox, we've done 6 out of 6 races. Let's have a fresh gearbox for the final 2 races of the season. That is everything on there. Of course, the powertrain department there. Those bigger teams will actually be affected more by this because they've got a lot more parts to secure. Hopefully, it might spice up the order a bit, but pretty much a very early one to be informed of, which is quite frustrating for us because it means we won't get that much of a shake-up of the order. We're going to get going on with some of these R&D upgrades. We've got loads.
Deal with this one.
Throw a party for the department. Well, that's their job. Let them throw their own party. It's taking a few all-nighters at the department to hit their development deadline. Real effort, especially difficult over the line. I think we just go with the 20k. 10%'s a lot. It's going to be costly.
We've had the new parts come through the fabrication process. We'll have them with us for the next Grand Prix.
We'll just get in some things to get on with. There we go. Perfect. Right, we can continue there. We do have upgrades. A lot of upgrades coming in. It's going to really boost us for the GP. We want to get that done. We're going to have to wait because we're still at the maximum. The problem is at the moment, we seem to have gone a little bit unusual here. Let's return to the overview a second. A little bit glitch. We'll sort that out now. Well, we've sorted that little glitch out. We will continue going a bit further forward because, as I was saying... Oh, there we go. We've got a new chassis upgrade. You can see that puts us to 11 at the moment. As I was saying, you know, for a lot of these things, we can't actually get some of these upgrades done at the moment. And it's generally because some of these we can't get the upgrades done because we're still waiting for things like that. That's got one day on it. We've got quite a chunk of R&D points to spend here. Can't do that because we've only got one upgrade going once on the powertrain department capacity reach. We're going to go again, not with the plank for the weight redistribution. We're going to go another tyre wear upgrade. A real push on tyre wear, I do know, but that will be in before the COTA Grand Prix. A bit of a focus on that at the moment. You guys will have seen. Perfect there. 3 have come through without problem. And you can see we're starting to edge away from Aston Martin by quite a chunk. Going with lovely Alpha Tauri. And we can now take the diffuser. Of course, though, there is the DRS and the redesigned brake ducts, which should spice things up a bit, but I think we'll go with this. That will just, hopefully, be in for the COTA Grand Prix. It's the last upgrades at the moment to get them in. That last push. We can do 2 simultaneous upgrades. We can't get the plank one done, though, at the moment in time.
Hate to drop this on you, but we could do with your expertise on this one.
Lose focus for Shwartzman. Or lose morale. Recent systems crash led us to losing simulation data about the car's drag performance. We can either get Shwartzman to do some runs in simulator, or get the aero department. We're going to go probably for the department morale. No, actually, Robert. I'm sorry,
Thanks for
Robert.
dealing with that. The department appreciates it.
We have 2 more races left. And my focus at the moment is definitely on the team. For those 2 races. It sounds a bit selfish, but we need to focus on that. Season break in a second. We have some more R&D points. Nothing really to invest it on. We do still have 4 more upgrades to bring in. A major and 3 minors. Let's go. The other side. Oh, what a shame. Secondary wing flaps have failed. Just failed there. That will, however, we'll be able to get that in for the COTA Grand Prix. Another crucial upgrade. We need to get those aero upgrades in. We are quite behind in the aero at the moment. Oh, Ferrari apparently brought us a power unit upgrade, which is really nice of them to do so, as that's not showing up there. And, oh, right, okay. We have to sort the starters out now. That's apparently at risk. We shall adapt that part now. That's safe now. Oh, and we've also failed with the cylinder head. And we don't have enough to sort that out at the moment, so that's very frustrating. But that's life, isn't it? We've now got turbo size in there. That's going to help us in the powertrain department.
We were expecting some new developments.
All go at the moment.
But some of them have failed quality control.
Cash or half off the plank. I'm going to choose the...
Now, this is an interesting one.
100k is a lot. 100,000, that's a lot of money. It's important, but I'm going to go with the discount. I keep going with the discount over money, but what we need to do is actually get enough money for a teammate to then be able to upgrade on departments. But in terms of what we've got, we've sorted that out. That's the next big thing there. That, of course, won't be in for Mexico. Not much is going to be in for Mexico now. We need a bit more R&D, please.
I think we could better manage our time by organising some team activities.
We could do.
Screen to see what we have available.
Finally, I've actually remembered to do that this time, because don't always get all the activities in. But I do think we still need quite a chunk more for the cylinder head. That's failed. A little bit frustrating. We'll continue on. We're going to keep pushing. Oh, another one.
On the production line earlier this week. So
no, this is not what we needed. That's an important upgrade for us. And we don't have enough R&D for it. This is proving a bit costly here. Please don't fail. Please don't fail.
We need
God.
It's not an easy choice, I know.
Something totally different. A bad employee in the durability department. A bad joke, it's called. Not a bad employee. An employee in the durability department has become the centre of a tweetsome after some misinterpreted one of their statements. Have performed an internal investigation, spoken with their peers, and have concluded it's doubtful that offence was intended. Unfortunately, the social media profile makes it very clear who they work for and is starting to reflect probably upon the team. Loser claim, gain morale. I'm gonna fire them.
Appreciate you taking the time to help.
Gonna be harsh, but I do really want us to get another sponsor, and that's gonna be important.
Okay, we've had the new parts come through the fabrication process. We'll have them with us for the next Grand Prix.
Thank God, those parts came through the fabrication process. Thank God. That's pretty pivotal for us at the moment. We failed with the cylinder head. I can do that. That won't be in for Mexico. The chassis, tire blankets will be in for Mexico, so we will go for that. Because we can sort out the other one later. We're focusing on what we can get in for the end of this season. Oh, you're taking the mick. Really? Really? Because we should have been in a really good position. We really would have been in a great position, but constantly, these problems, that's not going to be in for Mexico either. So in terms of R&D, we're right with AlphaTauri, but all these failures have really set us back. It's like 3 failures now. We'll have a look at the progress history when we get there. Of course, we've had a look at the engine, that's fine. The driver market, we're pretty much fine there. So I think we have actually sorted everything out. We're at 9 million now, so I'm going to invest in facilities probably before Mexico, maybe. We'll have to see. I might actually invest a bit in marketing just in case our new teammate, whoever we're going to go for, wants marketing. But that's everything. We've got some upgrades in, not as many as I would have been hoping for, but we have got some upgrades in. The gap between Red Bull and Mercedes has stayed very similar, but Ferrari and McLaren are catching up. We'll have a look at that on the chart. Before we do that, however, guys, if you haven't already, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. But we're going to get and have a look at what's happened there in terms of the order, because we've looked at the facilities, we're not upgrading them. Sorted out the R&D, the powertrain sort of penalties we're taking for this weekend. Let's get into the order on that lovely graph, because it helps to visualize it in the bars. It's quite hard to tell the differences on them. It's a lot easier when you've got that graph and you can see the progress like throughout the season and where they are now. So we'll go to that now. Well, you've got to love the R&D chart, and there's been quite a lot of progressions from Belgium, I have to say. We look at the top, Red Bull extending their lead on Mercedes to the point where if Red Bull aren't 1 and 2 this weekend, I'll be wondering what's happened to them, because they really need that this weekend, and they're looking very dominant. Mercedes have dropped back to Ferrari and McLaren. That's your battle for P2 in terms of the teams this weekend. Ferrari and McLaren remain pretty much where they were at Spa. Maybe Ferrari a teeny little bit ahead. But Mercedes have dropped down to them. And we could see those three fighting again. And that would create a tasty battle, I have to say ourselves. Despite quite a few failed upgrades, we sit just behind AlphaTauri. Ourselves and AlphaTauri have got away from Alpine, Aston Martin, Alfa Romeo. Those three have really closed up. You know, they closed up last time. Hungary, Aston Martin was really close together. But then, of course, then Alpine started coming up. And now it's Aston Martin, Alpine and Alfa Romeo all close together. Meanwhile, Haas have taken another stride forward. They're closing up on the main group, really. And they're once again ahead of Williams. So Red Bull looking very dominant. They need to use that because they're struggling in the constructors at the moment. Mercedes, of course, P2. They're very close to Ferrari and McLaren. I want to battle with them this weekend. We know like the likes of Leclerc has got really fantastic focus. If maybe he can get some good results, that'd be fantastic for Ferrari. Also, Norris for McLaren, if they can get into the mix with the Mercs, that would also spice the title fight up. So watch out for it being Red Bull and then Mercedes versus Ferrari versus McLaren. AlphaTauri versus ourselves. We're closer in the Constructors' Championship. 1 point separating us and close in the R&D. That is going to be an exciting battle. Then you've got Aston Martin, Alpine and Alfa Romeo in a group together. Extremely close, those three. It's going to go down to who's got the best driver on the day. And then, of course, Haas and Header Williams trying to reach the top. Well, trying to reach the bottom of the midfield fight, in a sense. I mean, you look at where Haas have come, and they've really actually gone solidly. They've caught up. Williams have gone downhill. They were right with Alfa Romeo, who've made really great progress. Williams have just stalled, and that's dropped them back to Haas. And now they're really, really struggling. They need something pulled out the bag for next season. In terms of the rivalry, 1 race left in this one. We lead 25-18. We're looking pretty comfortably with 7-point lead. We should be able to beat Vettel. Let's get into some quali action. Well, qualifying then here at COTA, the sun shining through. There you can see the gap between the halo
we seem to be
and the
having some
car.
software issues at the moment.
We do.
Sit tight for a few minutes while we reboot some things, okay?
Yep, sadly, we have an electrical system fault, the repair time being just over 2.5 minutes. Of course, that's come down already, but we wanted to get out here. I have been struggling a little bit so far this weekend around here. Just haven't really had that pace. We need to go out there. We need to be able to rack up laps. But as Lando Norris goes out, P9 behind us in the standings, that could change at the final 2 races. But it is really frustrating for us. We need to be out on track, being able to put laps in, but we can't get out there on track when we've got an electrical fault, because I've been managing to put good laps in once I've had a few laps to get going. Bit of one of those tracks where I go better and better and better, but we've really been struggling to start with. So we need to be able to get out there and put a decent lap in. But with this electrical fault, it's not going to help us. Lando Norris out on track. Nikita Mazepin joining him, the Russian. Charles out there, currently 5th in the standing with 88 points. Yuki Tsunoda heading out the pit lane. And Lewis Hamilton also on his out lap. Those are all the drivers heading out at the moment. We are going to go out on a fresh set of softs when this has been repaired. A little bit of rain set for quali. That supposedly over half an hour, less than an hour's time. So that could be Q2 or Q3. One of those two. There will be rain at some point. Not that heavy though, so probably just Inter's weather. Whether we will make it to the weather that is going to be raining or not, I don't know. We'll still have to wait and see, because we're really struggling for pace. We've got to wait for this electrical fault system as Lando Norris begins his lap here. He's on a flyer as he heads up to turn 1. We'll watch his first part of his first sector here. He'll be looking for a good result this weekend to catch back up to Carl Lando, to make that a duo, and also his teammate Danny Rick, of course, Leclerc, well out of reach. Not too much tyre wear around here, especially at this sort of time of day, so we should be alright to do quite a few laps on the softs. Here we go, we're counting down, and then we're going to get out on track. At the moment, we've got Hamilton, Perez, Leclerc, Tsunoda, Shwartzman, Raikkonen, Gasly, Mazepin, Bottas, and Lando Norris all out on track. We're going to hopefully join them in a second. Yes, that is the repair done. Let's get out on track on a set of softs. Well, I have to say, this might actually be one of the most difficult quali sessions, of the season, because round here I haven't had the pace. I've been struggling a little bit, so it could be one of the most difficult quali sessions of the season so far. You know, of course, we've had some nice ones, we've had some frustrating ones, and we've just had some blatantly tedious ones that were so difficult to drive and so on. And then, of course, there was the ones where you don't do anything because you're going to take loads of engine penalties in the race. No one else is. That was, of course, Spain. We don't get the best of turn 1. We take out a bollard at least, so that won't bother us later on in the session. For some odd reason it might bother us. I don't know if that's going to slow us down by hitting it, but we might as well get it out away on the first lap. So we've already taken out the bollard there. Won't be the first time we'll be taking out bollards this weekend. Hopefully won't be taking out other cars, though we certainly don't want that after Spa, with a few collisions as we are beginning our lap here. We're actually finishing Sector 1. Sector 1's probably been my best sector so far, you know, this weekend. We've set a couple of purple ones. I've been pretty happy with that. My teammate Robert out, it'd be great to see if he could get a decent final results of the season. Maybe get himself some points. And the reason why I'm also saying that is because we need him to be scoring points, especially a track like this where I can't be up there probably as likely. Don't forget, we're taking a 5-place grid penalty anyway, so even if other drivers take grid penalties, there's a good chance we'll be starting in the bottom 5 here at COTA. Don't even know if we'll make it out of the bottom 6 in Q1. That will, of course, be decided in about 14 odd minutes from now, probably about 13 at this point. We're coming towards the end of this lap to finish the first one in quali. We're not slowest, we're certainly not quickest. Quicker than Mazepin, not than Russell. The target for me this weekend is to really just be quicker than Russell, Raikkonen, basically those sort of guys. Giovinazzi, Verstappen goes quickest. We know Red Bull have got a good car this weekend, but it is at a Mercedes track, so, you know, whether we'll see Mercedes sort of negating that gap by the fact it is a track sort of made for their car, we'll have to wait and see. But Bottas is going to need just a few points this weekend, so even if he's not that strong and he's behind the Red Bulls by a chunk, he could still get a good result. We've messed up that section, and Mr. Carlos Sainz, the Spaniard, is having a look. We are actually quicker than Latifi, which is nice to know that we're quicker than Latifi, quicker than King Latifi and Nikita Mazepin. Well, we're not going fantastically this lap, I have to say. You're not going to go amazingly every lap, are you? But round here, my first lap was a bit better than I was expecting. This lap, I was hoping to be in a positive delta by the end of the first sector, and we were in a positive delta until we finished the first sector, which was quite frustrating. Of course, a really unusual section, this bit. Take a wide line through there, and that's us off into the gravel. Go past Carlos. I was going to abandon the lap anyway. It just wasn't going to be a good one. We'll go again. We'll go again now. Of course, when it's an 18-minute quali session, you can just get out there, put a good lap in, and go again and again and again. We're going to go one more lap, return to the pits. And then when that's done, maybe if we've got time, a quick run down the order, get back out there, go again. Of course, that was restarting it. No point sticking with a rubbish lap round here at COTA, as it's all about this corner here as we're trying to take it nicely. Probably didn't get on the throttle as early as I wanted, but there we go, we're into the green on the Delta. It's such a unique track. I feel like you've got a bit of Abu Dhabi maybe in the final sector sort of feel. This section through here, very Suzuka sort of feel as you're heading round here. And then of course you've got longer straights, a bit like a kennel straight length one, all the way along there. A very good mix of different tracks, and then a similar to Istanbul and Sochi, with that for apex corner, of course, a bit closer to Istanbul than it is to Sochi. But still, 4.10 at Sochi. We are going a little bit quicker this lap. 4 tenths, I'll take that really, considering how we're struggling. Schumacher quicker than Russell. Great to see the Haas driver putting in a very good lap against another very good driver. Great to see the Haas being able to fight with the Williams. I'm liking how we've got that battle at the bottom of the field, and it's really intriguing battle. It's Latifi versus Mazepin, and then of course Schumacher versus George Russell. Of course, generally Russell does finish ahead by the end of the race weekend, especially in the races. But Schumacher's putting up a good fight in quali here as we are coming towards the end of our third lap. Of course, the second one we did abandon after going wide. Sort of linked, sort of not linked, but we're going to come towards the end of this one. Not the best of the exits off the final corner, but we're going to finish it. P15. I'm very happy with that, considering our pace this weekend. Let's get it back to the garage, get a new set of tyres on for another attempt. Here Verstappen, Hamilton, Leclerc, Norris, Bottas and Perez all separated by 6 tenths. Then Ricciardo just behind, making it all separated by 7 tenths. You can see that that's very close at the top. We'll see more of what's going to happen with those guys at the end of Q1 to Q2 to Q3. Ourselves currently out of the danger zone. P15, Robert P16. Tsunoda looking good there, P13. The Alpines pretty high there. Vettel going nicely. Giovinazzi is going to have to go again, of course, you know, but he's in a decent position. In terms of the drop zone, Lance Stroll, Kimi Raikkonen, Mick Schumacher, George Russell, Nicholas Latifi, Nikita Mazepin, the Haas's, the Williams, Raikkonen, and a very low-focused Lance Stroll, but you can see how close it is there between Stroll and ourselves. Not long to talk, because we need to get out there and improve, unless we're going to be out in Q1, because I can see there have been quite a lot of improvements, so we need a better lap. The second set of tyres then for Q1 here at COTA, and it's a interesting Q1, of course. Don't forget we can use sort of another set of softs here, because let's not forget that we probably won't be making it through to Q3, and there'll probably be some rain. And inters in Q2, we begin our third proper really decent, hopefully lap. I say really decent, we haven't done it yet, so I can't talk about that. And that's us cutting a massive chunk off the corner. I don't know what I was doing there. That cost us a 10th for cutting the corner. I really don't know. Don't judge me off that, guys. Don't judge me off that. That was not intentional, really, to try and take that much off. I just totally fluffed up the corner there. Not the first time you've seen it. We really are pushing to go quicker here, but it's so difficult round here as we then go too much over that curb. Costs us a little bit. Esteban Ocon, currently P13. Stroll and Raikkonen have gone again, and they have gone, I do believe, P16. And, well, Stroll's gone P16. Can Raikkonen improve? They're actually all coming to the end of their laps, I do believe, apart from maybe a bit confusing at this stage now, actually. But my teammate Robert Shwartzman certainly gone down the order. And this is an absolutely terrible lap. We're going to abandon it. I think there's long enough in the session for us to go again. Yep, you've seen what we've done before. We're going to go again after this lap, as those guys, I do believe, are beginning their lap. We're going to hopefully have time to begin ours now, if we can get towards the end of the lap quick enough. Don't know how long we've got left in the session, because for some reason that graphic isn't there. We're going to probably just make it through here in quali. And here we go. We're going to go again for another lap. This will be our last lap in quali. This is going to be a proper flyer. Now we're going all out for this here. We're going to push to the max to try and get a decent lap in here. We need to improve because those guys are going now. Where's that P15? We can only afford to drop one place if we want to get out of Q1 here. And that is certainly our target, to get out of Q1. As this section through here is so difficult. You don't get the line, you pay the price. And now through here, this is where we've got to push a bit more. We've dropped down to P16 with Schumacher. Absolutely flying here in Q1, sorry. He is looking to get out of this session into Q2, and that is worrying because it does mean we might struggle to go quicker. Here, Lance Stroll sat P18. Quali is complete, so when we finish this lap, we're down to P17. We have to improve this lap, basically, which is a bit worrying for us in this situation that we do have to improve. I don't know if Stroll and Raikkonen have improved or not, but we're certainly not going quicker this moment in time. We are currently sat P18 now. I was going to say P17. It was looking quite easy for us, and we're not going to go quicker, are we here? No. I just can't bring the lap together at this point. Can't seem to bring the lap together. What a disappointment here at COTA. Oh, gosh. I just don't feel confident now in this track. So frustrating. Not how I wanted to end quali. Just what a frustrating quali. I just couldn't hook it together, and that's P18. Oh, knocked out. So frustrating. Also going out with us, Mick Schumacher. P17, really good work from the Haas driver. Fantastic lap from him to finish P17. We're out in P18, just couldn't get a lap together at the end of quali. Kimi Raikkonen, P19 for Alfa Romeo. Bit disappointing for him, considering where his car is. He should be able to compete this weekend like Antonio is, but certainly isn't managing to do that. Latifi leads his teammate P20 with Latifi 21st. Mazepin rounds out everyone in 22nd. That's all of us going out in Q1 in terms of we head further up the order. Well, Verstappen is looking dominant here. 4/10 in front of Lando Norris, then Valtteri Bottas, Leclerc, Hamilton, Perez, Ricciardo, Gasly, Sainz. Look how close that is. If you look at, Verstappen looking really dominant. Perez, I'm a little surprised in P6. He's struggling despite having the car at his disposal that can easily get great results. The Mercedes not looking dominant here today. P3 and 5. Norris, P2. Leclerc, P4. It is literally, possibly, I'd probably say 7 cars. 8 cars maybe for pole. With that performance from Carlos Sainz, struggling a little bit off the pace of the others. But definitely, Verstappen, Norris, Bottas, Leclerc, Hamilton, Perez, Ricciardo, all are going to be going for pole. It's going to be really close. I actually think Verstappen's probably got the edge. The Red Bulls will probably shine through, but we know the McLarens and the Ferraris and the Mercedes are very close, especially Norris and Leclerc, Bottas and Hamilton. That's looking like a good fight. The Alpines, despite struggling in the R&D, actually climbing up to Aston Martin and the P10 and P13. Really good showing for them. They need points this weekend. Hopefully they can get some. Hopefully the Spaniard and his French teammate will be able to get something on the board for Alpine heading into the final round of the season after this at Mexico. They really need something to show for what has been a disappointing season. Of course, Pierre Gasly P8, Tsunoda P12. Worrying for us because we need them not to score this weekend if we're not going to score for the constructors. Meanwhile, Sebastian Vettel, strong P11. Robert Shwartzman, finally, a really good quality result I can be happy about. He's out of Q1 in P14. 1 minute 34.8. Really beating us in quali. Great to see him putting a great lap in. Comfortably through. Out of quali there by 3 and a bit tenths. Giovinazzi makes it through for Alfa Romeo. Strong result for him taking advantage of that car. Lance Stroll with a car that's going a bit downhill. And a Focus that certainly isn't coming back up. Just scapes through out of quali. There you go. That is Q1. We can't really say much more in terms of like the top 16. But really great to see my teammate through. Of course, great to see good result for Giovinazzi. Stroll struggling with low focus. And it's looking like Red Bull have the dominance. McLaren, Mercedes versus Ferrari. Those 3 teams will be fighting sort of behind. But from Q1, we lose Mick Schumacher ourselves, Raikkonen, Russell, Latifi, and Nikita Mazepin. Both Haasers, both Williams, Raikkonen, and ourselves. We are P18 provisionally. We will take a 5-place grid penalty, of course, which means that we could end up actually higher up the grid than 18th if others take grid penalties. However, we could end lower down if others don't. But P18, before grid penalties are added for component changes, we have won 5 place. We'll have to see what that equates to at the race. But another disappointing session. I think in terms of qualies, our focus is for Mexico. I couldn't hook up a lap at the end of Q3. Disappointing. It's going to be a recovery for the race, which I'll try to get to you guys later this week. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying these videos, and I'll catch you next time.